on publishing my second author article in a peer-reviewed journal, 2020 Mineralogy. I'm filming this over 3 years later on Wednesday, 18 September 2024. I am Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, and I'm talking through publishing my second author article in a peer-reviewed journal. The article was published in 2020. Publication date of Tuesday, 14 January 2020 in the journal Contributions to Mineralogy and Petrology, and was follow-up to my presenting part of the research at the 2015 American Geophysical Union conference in San Francisco, California, United States of America in December 2015, as well as publishing an undergraduate thesis August 2015 on a portion incorporated into this publication. Yes, so this was the undergraduate thesis project that I started off on is in experimental petrology. And so this one was, what was the paginated pages for the final thesis on this one? 54 pages. So, and I did actually, for when I submitted that one, so there was like, you know, the title and the abstract and yada, yada, yada. And there's a page where it's like the thesis advisor. And I actually did the professor, Julia Hammer. I also did Spot, which I hadn't heard of, but doesn't mean it hadn't been like done. I decided to do something a little different and also make Spot for the graduate student, Emily First. And so they both got to sign off on being my, all right, see, I love you. Stay safe, have fun. So they both got to sign off on being on my undergraduate thesis committee, because I couldn't really do it without either of them. So I was second author on this final publication, and then I did my thesis, and then I presented. It was a poster in December 2015, and then I think there was also somewhere along the way, it might have been incorporated into a more like a broader topic on nucleation. It was at Goldschmidt. I didn't present that either. Or I guess I didn't present that one, right? I hadn't brought up one I hadn't presented before. So there. And so with this one, I did the experiments and I made the thin sections, and I was not proficient in knowing how to do that. So I got to learn how to do that, and then I got to do it. And the project was kind of conceptualized by Emily First and Julia Hammer, and then I was brought in and made it into undergraduate thesis, and I did the image analysis, like for something we did, and then I put together different mosaics. And so there was spectroscopy, there was petrography, there was multiple forms of geochemical analyses, which I only did measurements for one of those types. So kind of the first round, then there was in figuring out where to publish it, this project with, there was additional geochemical measurements taken, and those were part of like beefing it up for a different type of journal. So contributions to mineralogy and petrology are very extensive studies, or tend to be kind of, and so I think we got it, I chose for the title of this video Mineralogy because I think we got it rejected from Journal of Petrology for had too much of like a mineral focus. And so essentially what I did in the experiments was, it was a vertical gas mixing furnace. So I used gases and mixed them in a certain proportion to create a certain oxygen fugacity environment in this vertical furnace, and then I grew crystals under controlled conditions, and then we took the crystals that grew, if any crystals grew, and then I took those samples and I cut them thin, polished them down, like including like epoxying them to a slide and stuff like that. And then I did petrography, and we did geochemical analyses on those. And so people want to know why I was not first author. I was not first author. From my perspective, it took a very strong geochemistry tone, And I did a lot of the work, right? I support the who got the first author on the geochemistry focus of the article, right? It's about the article, right? Which is very geochemistry focused. And so it's like, so I support kind of how it played out. There was no dead weight on our publishing list. So it was first author, Emily first. Let me see if, did I close it? Of course I closed it. Let me open this up again. When it goes time for filming, I've already closed the thing down. So it was Emily C. first author, me, Tanis Leonhardi, second author, and then Julia E. Hammer, third author. There was no dead weight. We all contributed. Yes. So in that sense, it was a dream team, and we were all females. She, her, hers. That's right. So that's very cool. Yes. And yeah, it was, I think there's like those projects that get done and then they take a long time to publish. And this was, of the 3 publications peer-reviewed journal publications I am an author on, I currently have, this one took the longest. Though partially it was finding the right journal and finding the right fit. And I thought contributions to mineralogy and petrology was a good fit. And I guess, yes, I should say, so I have 1 first author paper and 2 second author papers in peer-reviewed journals as of filming this Wednesday, 18 September 2024. And my highest degree I have attained is an undergraduate of bachelor and a Bachelor of Science degree in Geology and Geophysics with a minor in Mathematics. So in that sense, I did pretty good for myself. Yeah. But I'm publishing my second author article in a peer-reviewed journal, 2020, Mineralogy. There was a little bit of I took a little bit more because it was very results dependent. Like not all studies are, like people can guess kind of what the outcome was, and we could kind of guess what there's a hypothesis in it, but there was like, it was a bunch. I mean, somebody on the research team or in the research group, because like Tom Shea was part of the experimental petrology research group. There was somebody in the research group even came up with a term, called it my mini masters, because of how much work it was. It was an excellent learning process for me. Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers, etc. So there we go. I'm publishing my second author article in a peer-reviewed journal, 2020, Mineralogy.